We hear it all over the news nowadays that fentanyl overdoses kill people all the time. I'm going to tell you about a different type of overdose that can also kill people, and that is an insulin overdose. This is a story of what happened to me 2 Fridays ago, and that could happen to anybody at any time when you're doing insulin as your management for your diabetes. My name is Ryan Hodges, and this is my channel. Welcome back to it. If this is your first time here, hit the like and subscribe button so that you can just join this community of type 1 diabetics that I'm trying to build to help just tell my story to show you that it's not too late for you to take control of your diabetes. I have learned some incredible things over the last 7 months, 8 months, and I just want to share where I came from and what has got me to the point that I'm at now. Go back and check out some of my other videos. You will find very interesting how I went from a 10.7 A1C to a 5.5 A1C, and that you can do the same thing. All right. Not last Friday, the Friday before that, I get home from work and dinner is just about ready. It's 20 or so minutes away from being on the table, so it's time to pre-bolus. I figure out my insulin that I'm going to give, and I begin my dosing for the food. We were having curry chicken over rice, and for this, rice hits me hard, so I do most of it up front. I did the rest over an extended bolus for about 30 minutes. So I did about 80% up front, and then I did the other 20% over 30-minute period, and then I was going to increase my basal rate for the next couple of hours just to help with some of the protein that was going to come from the chicken. There wasn't a lot of fat in this meal, so I wasn't too concerned about that. When we sat down to eat, we realized this is a lot spicier than we had thought it was going to be. I love spicy. My teenager, she was able to muscle through it, and so was my wife. However, our 4-year-old was not going to be able to eat this chicken. So we did what any good parent would do, and we made her a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. She had a decent sized snack that afternoon, so she ate half of that sandwich and said she was done. Now, typically, we would encourage her to eat more, but there was no need for us for her to need to eat the whole meal. So I said, yeah, be done. I'm going to finish your peanut butter and jelly sandwich. It's been a long time since I've had one. I figured out that there was probably about 20 carbohydrates left on that half of the sandwich. And so I took out my pump, put in the insulin, and I ate the sandwich. Finished eating. I was talking to my wife, who was about ready to leave. She was walking out of the door to go out to a girls' night. And then it was going to be me and my girls at home just hanging out. We had talked about maybe going to get ice cream or something later on the evening, so we were about ready to have a really great night. I get up to start doing the dishes to help out with around the house. I looked at my pump for some reason, and I see that there are 28 units of insulin on board on my pump. I quickly realized that instead of typing in 20 carbohydrates, I typed in 20 units of insulin, and that's what was dosed into me. This is something that has almost happened to me before. I usually catch it, and this time I didn't when I was dosing for the insulin. So I told my older daughter, I said, listen, here's what happened, and I just wanted her to be aware. She is fully aware and capable of using the glucagon just in case I needed it. But more than anything, I wanted her to know just so that she would know that she needs to help me just pay attention to what's going on around the house and the baby should my blood sugar go low. Worst case scenario, she knows how to dial 911. So I didn't freak out. I didn't go crazy and start, just ravaging the house for anything I could. I took out my phone and I said, okay, 20 carbohydrates times 7.5, which is my carb ratio. And I figured out that I needed about 150 carbohydrates to be eaten to not go low. So I started eating. I thought, what can I do to get some quick carbohydrates in me? And I had a regular Dr. Pepper. It's the first regular Dr. Pepper I think I've had in years. The only other times that I've had them is, again, for low blood sugars and just because, hey, we're at a restaurant and this is what I'm going to drink, or, something like that. So I downed the Dr. Pepper. My wife had just made some little sugar cookies. Now, these sugar cookies were only about this big around, and I looked at them and I thought, maybe 15 carbohydrates. I ate 6 of them. The rest of what I ate over the next, I ate for about 3 hours, and it was not like a constant eat. I was constantly checking my blood sugar on my Dexcom, making sure that things were doing what they were supposed to be doing, and I would adjust accordingly. I had realized that I still had the basal had the temporary basal was turned up, so I turned that off, of course, and I turned back on Control IQ on my tandem pump, and it obviously it cut basal away from what was going in, so that was helping. By the end of the night, I had eaten those 6 sugar cookies, that Dr. Pepper. I had eaten a scoop of ice cream that we had at home because I wasn't going to go driving to go get ice cream. I had a full can of chicken noodle soup. I think I had 2 glucose tablets. And then towards the end of the night, I also had some popcorn that I only dosed about half the insulin for, because when I sat down to eat the popcorn, the insulin on board was gone. My blood sugar was sitting right around 126. And I figured, you know what? I think I'll be all right doing about half of the units of, or the half of the carbohydrates worth of insulin. And it worked out really well. I was able to make it the rest of the night, throughout the night sleeping, without going high or low. And during the heat of the moment, when everything was going crazy, the lowest I hit was 65 and the highest I hit was like 127 or something like that. I really honestly believe that I was able to do this because of staying calm. If I was to freak out, I would have either gotten so worked up that I would have eaten so much that my blood sugar would have shot up. I might have dosed for it, and then I would have tanked again because the carbohydrates that were going in were probably only going to sustain me for a short period of time, and then I was going to crash again anyways. So that could have been bad. People that freak out might not eat enough. They might think, oh, that was probably enough, and then they tank anyways. Like, there's a lot of things that could have happened. So I definitely think that staying calm is what made that go very, very well for me throughout the night. These are things that I have learned in the Juicebox podcast. Being part of that community on Facebook and learning it from listening to the podcast is just an incredible resource. If you guys haven't listened to it, look it up. There's a link for it in the description of the video. And I just 100% think that everybody can learn a lot more about what it means to manage your type 1 diabetes. It doesn't matter how long you've been diabetic. You can learn something new, and there is something out there that maybe you didn't know. I definitely encourage this, and I hope you guys continue to get control of your diabetes if you don't have it, or keep control of it if you do. It's a lifelong thing, but it doesn't have to be a bad thing. Guys, we got this. I look forward to seeing you in the next video, and I will talk to you soon. Thanks. Bye.